Project Management Lecture 5. Today we will learn about project risk management. Introduction to project risk management, risk identification and assessment techniques, risk mitigation and contingency planning. Introduction to project risk management. Project risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and managing risks that may impact a project's objectives. Risks are any potential events or circumstances that may have a negative impact on the project's timeline, budget, scope, or quality. Effective risk management helps project managers to anticipate potential problems and take proactive measures to minimize their impact. The process of project risk management involves 4 main steps. 1. Risk identification. The first step is to identify potential risks that may affect the project. This is done by analyzing the project plan, identifying potential hazards, and conducting a risk assessment. Risks may be related to the project's scope, schedule, budget, resources, or external factors. 2. Risk analysis. Once risks have been identified, they need to be analyzed to determine their likelihood and potential impact on the project. Qualitative and quantitative risk analysis techniques may be used to prioritize risks and develop risk mitigation strategies. 3. Risk response planning. Based on the risk analysis, the project team develops risk response plans to address the identified risks. These plans may involve risk avoidance, risk reduction, risk transfer, or risk acceptance. Risk response plans are documented in the project management plan. 4. Risk monitoring and control. Throughout the project, risks need to be monitored and controlled to ensure that the risk response plans are effective. Regular risk assessments are conducted to identify new risks and to evaluate the effectiveness of the risk response plans. Adjustments are made to the plans as necessary. Effective project risk management is essential to the success of a project. It helps project managers to anticipate potential problems and take proactive measures to minimize their impact. By identifying, assessing, and managing risks, project teams can improve the chances of delivering the project on time, within budget, and to the required quality standards. Risk identification and assessment techniques. Risk identification and assessment are crucial steps in the project risk management process. They involve identifying potential risks that may affect the project and assessing their likelihood and impact. Here are some commonly used risk identification and assessment techniques. 1. Brainstorming. Brainstorming is a group technique that involves generating ideas and potential risks in a non-judgmental and open environment. This technique can be used to identify potential risks by involving project team members and stakeholders. 2. SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis is a structured technique that evaluates the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of a project. It can help identify potential risks and opportunities that may affect the project. 3. Checklists. Checklists are a simple tool that can be used to identify potential risks based on past experiences or industry-specific standards. Checklists can be used to ensure that all potential risks are considered. Once risks have been identified, they need to be assessed based on their likelihood and impact. Risks are prioritized based on their risk score, and risk response plans are developed to address the identified risks. Effective risk identification and assessment are essential to the success of project. By identifying potential risks and their impact, project teams can develop strategies to mitigate risks and increase the chances of project success. Risk mitigation and contingency planning. Risk mitigation and contingency planning are important components of the project risk management process. Once risks have been identified and assessed, risk mitigation strategies need to be developed to reduce the likelihood or impact of the risks. Additionally, contingency plans need to be developed to address risks that cannot be mitigated. Here are some common risk mitigation strategies and contingency planning techniques. Risk mitigation strategies. 1. Risk avoidance. This strategy involves changing the project plan or approach to eliminate the risk altogether. For example, if there is a risk associated with a particular supplier, the project team may choose to use a different supplier to avoid the risk. 2. Risk reduction. This strategy involves taking actions to reduce the likelihood or impact of the risk. For example, if there is a risk associated with a particular task taking longer than expected, the project team may take steps to streamline the task or allocate more resources to it. 3. Risk transfer. This strategy involves transferring the risk to another party, such as an insurance company or a vendor. For example, the project team may purchase insurance to transfer the risk of a natural disaster or other unforeseen event. 4. Risk acceptance. This strategy involves acknowledging the risk and accepting the potential consequences. For example, if the risk associated with a task is low and the potential impact is minimal, the project team may choose to accept the risk. Contingency planning techniques. 1. Contingency reserves. Contingency reserves are budgeted amounts set aside to cover unexpected events or risks that may impact the project. These reserves can be used to cover additional costs or schedule delays. 2. Trigger points. Trigger points are predetermined events or conditions that signal the need for a contingency plan. For example, if a particular task falls behind schedule by a certain amount of time, a contingency plan may be activated. 3. Backup plans. Backup plans are alternate plans that can be implemented if the original plan is impacted by a risk. For example, if a particular supplier cannot deliver the necessary materials on time, a backup supplier may be used instead. By developing risk mitigation strategies and contingency plans, project teams can minimize the impact of potential risks and increase the chances of project success. These plans need to be regularly monitored and updated as the project progresses and new risks are identified. Effective risk management can help ensure that the project is delivered on time, within budget, and to the required quality standards. Thanks for watching. Wait for more informative videos.